All right, good evening, traders. It is September 6th, 2023. This is the market wrap-up for BYOB. Here we have on the daily chart of the SPY, we have a lower low and a lower high on the daily chart. As you can see, price action came down and kind of touched the midpoint, and we got a little $2 bounce so far on SPY. So still in a daily uptrend. Trend indicator still green. SPY still looking good in this uptrend. Now if we put a trend line in right across the top of that, let's try it again, and draw in a parallel. That's kind of steep, but if we put a parallel in, you can see we bounced right there at the parallel. Right there. So there's our daily uptrend. We'll see if they're going to break it tomorrow. They spiked it right here. We'll see if they can hold it tomorrow and continue that uptrend back up to the other side. So there's SPY. Now let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ doing the same thing on the quad lines. You can see QQQ nowhere near the midpoint, not like the SPY. So QQQ much healthier than the SPY. If we look at the QQQ with the quad lines regarding the whole picture, almost back to the midpoint right here, but not close enough. All right, so QQQ, 3-day pullback, lower low, lower low, lower high, finding support right on minor support. That's this daily candle, big red daily candle right there. As you can see, price action coming down to this 372.88, and you get a little 50-cent bounce right on QQQ right there. So there's QQQ, still in the daily uptrend. Notice trend indicator's green. Price over the T line, but the three still over the 8, and all three over the trend indicator. So still bullish on QQQ. Notice on QQQ we did put in a slightly lower low than we had over here. So we'll see how they're going to treat this. This is the uptrend, the longer term uptrend right through here. Not sure if they need to go to the other side of the channel. This seems to have them trapped, has price trapped underneath it at this time. So we're looking like almost a triple top here. Maybe put a trend line in from here to there. See what happens in the near future. Still, QQQ, still very bullish. So let's take a look at FNGU. So here's FNGU. Not quite as ugly as the others. Notice the lower high and lower low, but almost most of the price range today was mostly contained within yesterday's candle. Closing above the T line, trend indicator still green. Price, the 3 and the 8 all over the trend indicator, still bullish. We have a neckline for the FNGU, and we should probably drag that in there. As you can see right there, there's our neckline for the FNGU, and price action still needs to breach this minor resistance right here. See all these tails that stick down? That's minor resistance. So we got to move up through that minor resistance and tackle this neckline right here for FNGU. So those are the two goals that are set for the bulls on FNGU. Right now we currently have a head and shoulders pattern, and the price action is underneath the neckline at this time. So that's FNGU. Let's look at the Diamond Dow. Here's the Diamond Dow putting in a lower high, but a higher low here. Good news on Diamond Dow is it has a higher low right here. So Nice to see a possible higher low here as well. Kind of have a triangle playing out here. We'll see how long it takes them to break through this triangle. But here's the wedge pattern that we currently have. You can see we've gone from one side to the other side. So looking for Diamond Dow to break out eventually. Also a head and shoulders pattern kind of setting up. Head here, right shoulder, left shoulder, possible breakdown of the neckline. We'll see what happens in the near future here with diamonds. Now let's take a look at IWM. Now IWM had a horrid day yesterday and not a bad day today. Lower low, and lower high on IWM. IWM kind of breaking the downtrend almost here. Got a lower high and underneath our trend indicator. And notice the T-line, the 3 EMA, and the price are all underneath the trend indicator. Not a good sign for IWM. Plus, we have a lower high. Pressure will be on the bears to produce that lower low and for the bulls to defend that. Closing below the midpoint, not a good sign for IWM. So maybe looking for a double bottom here, test this support area one more time, not sure, but IWM not looking good at this time. Maybe we get a trend that plays out through here. Let's see what happens. Let's put a trend line right there. And let's make a parallel and see if that's going to work there. Not quite. Still a lot of work to do on this IWM. Now let's go take a look at the dollar index. And I have that somewhere here. That's it right there. Dollar, well, this is what probably caused the markets to poo-poo today. Is this 4-hour candle here jumping all the way up to 105 right there, creating a higher low in the dollar index. And the pullback to what we got here is minor support. So dollar just ratcheting higher and higher here, well over the major resistance that it was under, and now becomes minor support right here at 104.50. So here's the dollar just getting it done today, and that's not good for our markets because our markets need weak dollars to be globally competitive in the world economy. So we'll see what happens there. So not much of a higher high. Notice that. So this move may be over soon. We'll see what happens. And that's the DXY dollar index. Economic calendar tomorrow. We got jobless claims at 8:30. PPI final demand. That must be some sort of audit where they're going to revise numbers. Retail sales at 8:30. PPI audit at 8:30. Business inventories at 10, and natural gas at 10:30, and a Fed balance sheet then. So could be an interesting morning. We'll see what happens. There's the economic calendar. Earnings, not much going on tomorrow if we look at earnings. We got Copart, and that's about the biggest one up there. And the following day would be, let's see, tomorrow we got DocuSign right there. It's about the biggest one, DocuSign, and the Toro company. Not sure if that's the lawnmower or not. And then RH, maybe that's Red Hat. Not sure about that one either. We'll see what happens. So there's earnings for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the Toro company. In the evening, DocuSign. So now let's go take a look at precious metals. So here's silver. Silver, lower high, lower low. Just a harsh pullback from that failed attempt to make the higher low. The higher high. So here's that downtrend line, and here's the failed attempt back below the midpoint. Just got hammered down on SLV. So let's take a look at GLD. GLD, same thing, got hammered down by the downtrend line and the midpoint. Closing underneath the trend indicator. All three, price action is below the trend indicator, but the 3 and the 8 are above. Let's go see what SLV is doing. The price is below the trend indicator, and the 3 is below the trend indicator. The T line, which is the 8, still getting kind of caught up there. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So there's SLV. Take a look at USO. USO, buying back everything that was sold yesterday. Still bullish. USO still super bull right there with a higher low creating the higher high. USO, very bullish. UNG, very bearish. And here's UNG making yet again another lower low on UNG. Darn near the bottom of this bear flag that we're in. So you can see here's the price action, just a hockey stick over to the right and at well below the midpoint right here. So there's your midpoint. You can see we're down here leaning on quadrant 1, trying to break through the bottom of quadrant 1 and breaking this downtrend line, this uptrend line right here. So nothing good to report on UNG, just not time yet. So there's UNG. Now let's take a look at SMH. So here's SMH. For a daily candle, we got a lower low and a lower high. Kind of respecting this downtrend line right now. Here's the midpoint of this sloppy bull flag that we're in. Here's the flagpole up, and all of this is the flag. So we have a sloppy bull flag with price action. Really not too bad. Closing above the downtrend line, not a bad sign at all. And over the midpoint. We'll see if they're going to come back and touch this area back here in this flag that they have. So here's SMH. Let's look at XLF. XLF under the midpoint, lower high, lower low, knocking on the door of quadrant 1 and getting caught underneath this downtrend line. So XLF, a lot of work to do there. If we back this out, just measure this, they spike the midpoint of the move up. So nice thing about XLF is we got a higher low here, but they still having struggles to get it done to get back over this downtrend line. That's XLF. IYT. All right, here's IYT gapping lower, lower high, lower low. Nothing really good to report on IYT. Other than that, it's near this uptrend line. Didn't seem to bounce today. Maybe tomorrow we'll find some juice. We'll find out. Here's the midpoint. And you can see IYT knocking on the bottom of quadrant 1 on transports right there. So that's it for the market. I will take questions, and I want to thank you YouTubers out there for watching my videos. I hope you subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Leave a nice comment. That would be beautiful also. All right? Or pick up a trial for BYOB. Either way, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're taking the time to listen to it. After that, I'll see you all at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And for the people in the BYOB room, I will take questions.